Hello, my name is Dean Contover, and this is Current Buzz. Thank you for watching today. We have an honored guest today, Dr. Jay Lang. He's the superintendent of schools of Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I mean, he's very nice, and he always comes, and we talk about different things. We're going to talk about MCAS, and it was voted out in 2024. And we're going to see where that's at. You still take the MCAS test, right? The kids still
We
take.
do.
Yeah, they still take.
Yeah, it was removed as a graduation requirement.
And we're going to talk about the Parker Middle School, the new Parker Middle School that's coming up. And I just want to tell you that there's, I found out recently that there's a painting in the Museum of Fine Arts about the Battle of Bunker Hill. And Lieutenant Colonel Parker, Moses Parker, was in this painting. He's right there. Right in that picture, wounded, and I just want to let you know, this is a Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and you could check it out. I think
Sure.
we talked about this before. A lot of people not aware of that, or you know, so I want to update people
Right.
to let them know. So you have Parker Middle School. It's going to be a new one for sure, right?
Well, that's what we're going through the process right now
Okay.
to figure out.
Okay.
So, we're deep into what they call the feasibility study.
Okay.
And we're still exploring 3 different options.
Okay.
So this is in partnership with Mass School Building Authority. So you may hear MSBA as an acronym quite a
Right.
bit. We were accepted into a feasibility study to take a look at a new middle school in Chelmsford. So Parker was the school that we designated. We wanted to potentially have it be a new building. The state makes you go through a process where you look at not only just building a brand new school, but also doing like a renovation or addition to the existing building, or even just a code upgrade to the existing building. So you have to look at all 3 options. In the end, oftentimes, like a code upgrade and even addition is more costly than just building a new school, but you still have to go through those options. So that's what we're looking at right now. And then further, we're actually studying 3 different grade level configurations. Parker is currently grades 5 and 6. So the first option we're looking at is just a brand new Parker for grades 5 and 6. Okay. We're also able to look at an option that brings the 4th grade up to the new school. So that would be a grade 4, 5, 6 option. What that does is actually buys us a little bit more time with our existing elementary schools, because if we relocate the 4th grade into a new school, then that opens up about 100 seats in each of our elementary schools, which just help to expand the life, because we're getting a little bit tight enrollment-wise at the elementary level.
Okay.
So that would be a second option we're exploring. And then a third option we're exploring is a brand new middle school that would be grades 5 to 8. So 4 different grade levels, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would be basically recombining Parker and McCarthy into a new school and a new project. Obviously, that would have to be a new school because you wouldn't be able to fit them into the existing spaces. That would be a very large middle school. That middle school would end up being even bigger than our high school. So we do have to look at that option as well. But that poses different challenges just because of the pure size and magnitude of the project. But we're looking at the 3 different options, and we're looking at also potentially where this school could be located. Okay. So it may make sense to actually build a new school right on the grounds outside of Parker.
In front of Parker, the field, the football field,
so
the
you
practice
build the school
field.
on the new practice field, and then when that school was built, you could demolish the current Parker and make that into field space.
Who would pay for that, the demolish?
So the demolition would be paid through the project. So
they would pay for it.
Yeah. And
if you moved it to another, if you moved it to another location,
right, then
what would happen?
It's not reimbursed.
I see.
So then the town would have to pay for the demolition of Parker.
I
So if you do it on the site, they incorporate the existing school
good.
as part of the tear down and reconfiguration.
I see.
The other sites we're looking at would be Graniteville Road, the space up near the open park space out in front of the high school, across from McCarthy, across from the turf field.
Okay.
The Graniteville field, that's a big field. Now, one of the issues with that would be obviously be losing some field space to build a school there.
Right.
A third option we're looking at is in the back corner of McCarthy, where they have the ropes course now. That's also town-owned, and we wouldn't have to alter the playing field at McCarthy.
Right.
So that's a third option. That just poses some problems logistically because of the constraints of the site. But we're looking at those 3 different locations. We're looking at the 3 different grade level configurations. And for each of those, we also have to then do that one-for-one replacement, brand new, a code upgrade, or renovation addition. And so that work has been ongoing. We've held a couple of different community visioning sessions this fall.
Exactly.
I know you attended, and that was great to
I
just
did
get some
attend.
public input.
I think more people should attend it. So I mean, what's the date of the next one? December 14th, is it?
No, it's Wednesday, the 17th of
The
December.
17th, yeah. If you can make it, I suggest that you go to these meetings. If you're a parent or a taxpayer, you should go to this meeting and listen to. They have 2 organizations. One's Left Field.
Yeah, Left Field is our owner's project manager, our
There's the
OPM.
project manager,
They kind of
okay.
help us with the day-to-day.
What's a project manager do? What do they do?
So they represent really the town and the school department's interests. They have, the full-time staff that actually are helping us through the feasibility study. And then we have AI3, which is an engineering architectural firm.
I see.
So they're the designer for the building.
Now, have they designed other schools?
Oh, yes, they're only a school
Oh,
company. So
okay.
They specialize also in middle schools.
Oh,
in
wow.
particular, which was great for us.
Yeah.
They do a lot of business in Massachusetts. They're all school-based, but they have a particular focus on middle schools. That's why they were really attractive to us
Okay.
when we were going through the selection process.
Who is we when you talk about the selection?
So there's another group too. So
Okay.
there's a Parker Building Committee. So that actually has
How many people on the committee?
13.
Oh,
So
wow,
we've got
okay.
13 people from town on that committee. Some of them are school-based, myself, Joanna Johnson-Collins, who's the business director for the schools, Brian Curley, who's our facilities director, Dennis King, who's our school committee chair, is on
right.
that group. And then the counterparts on the town side, we have Christine Clancy from DPW, the DPW director, Matt Schweitzer, who's the facilities manager for the town,
How about some
Paul Cohen,
parents?
town manager.
How about some parents, and how about some students? I mean, you have high school students that came through the system, and they
Right.
could give some information to the
Well,
building
several
committee.
of the people on the building committee actually also have kids in the school system,
Okay.
so that's helpful. So they're playing 2 different roles.
Right.
We do have a resident, Brandon as well, who has students in the district. He happens to live in Chelmsford, and he happens to work in school facilities in another community. So he brings that to the table. We've
see.
got a lot of different things kind of checked off
Okay.
with that group.
I just want to make sure that,
Yeah.
that the town.
But again, even on the town side, we're really encouraging people to come to these visiting sessions.
Right.
Because that's a great opportunity
I
to
think
ask
so.
questions, hear a little bit about the project. As we shift after the holidays into kind of making the selection on which grade level configuration we want to kind of move forward
Right.
with and which location, there'll be more information sessions around that. We'll have some report outs at town meeting, both this spring and next fall. So there's really plenty of opportunity to get involved.
yeah.
We make sure we work with telemedia to record all the different sessions, so we record them and post them online. So if you can't attend a meeting, but you want to still hear what happened, you can go online and watch the meeting.
Right.
So there really is a lot taking place.
Okay.
The next school committee meeting on December 16th, AI3, the architect group, will be there to provide for the school committee
Oh, okay.
an overall update. So again, that's another recorded message and meeting.
Well, the public can go to the
The
school
people
committee.
can come to it,
Yeah.
but they can also watch it to just
Yeah.
get up to speed
Up
with
to
what's
speed.
happening
Yeah,
with the project.
exactly.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
really excited about it.
Yeah, so am I. I think, and we're going to still keep the name Lieutenant Colonel Moses Parker as,
Yes, typically the name of a school, if you're doing a brand-new school and you're taking down a school, any of the things that were named in the old school would transition over to the new school.
I think Lieutenant Colonel Moses Parker is a hero in regards to Chelmsford.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should think about either funding with the funds that you get to build a statue to this guy in front of the school, like other communities have of their
Right,
Revolutionary War heroes,
Right.
or put a statue in the center of town.
somewhere in town.
Yeah,
Yeah, that can certainly
you
be discussed. I think from a naming perspective, though, no one's looking to change names. So the name would normally just go
Right.
to the new facility.
Right.
But that could certainly be discussed.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that's going.
Yeah, it's going along well. And again, the OPM and the architect, the designer, are really helping us facilitate the process. So we're going through that right now.
To me, the pictures that I saw I didn't see the architectural design. It seemed like they wanted an open concept. Is that possible? I mean, in regards to
What do you mean
middle
by an
school?
open concept?
It seemed like, it's hard to explain. It's just that they had different levels, but it was open to, like, if you go into an office building, sometimes the lobby is,
Right.
there's 3 stories or 4 stories,
Right.
5 stories, and it's open to that.
I mean, some of the, I don't know the exact pictures we're
Yeah.
talking about, but like some of the concepts typically do have an area of the building which would be more accessible to the public, because when we're designing the spaces, like our schools are used after hours.
Oh,
for,
good
the
point.
community.
Oh.
We've got groups that might come in to use the
Okay.
gym, or groups that come in to use telemedia.
Okay.
So you'd want to actually locate those in like easily accessible places, so that the public that's coming into a school doesn't necessarily have to get into the academic spaces in the building. So that'll be part of the design that comes of it. But oftentimes when you're coming in, say the front of the building, or if you're coming in for, again, to access, say, the gymnasium, oftentimes there are more open areas to be able to have the public come and hold their meetings and use the space.
Speaking of the gymnasium, they will build a gymnasium.
Correct.
I remember being at the meeting, and somebody came up. They had little stickers that
Yes.
you would go, and somebody suggested a pool.
Yes.
Now, I guess a pool cannot be built with that in mind.
Right, well, so the state won't participate, because the state would be reimbursing, more than half of this project.
Right.
So it would be half town funds, half state funds. But the state will not participate in swimming pools or hockey rinks, because this comes up in different
okay.
communities that may want to build a
Yeah,
swimming pool or hockey
exactly,
rink.
yeah.
So it ends up becoming just too much of a cost for, say, the town to absorb.
What if
on its
somebody
own.
donated money to build $2 million or $3 million? Would that be acceptable? I mean,
I guess anyone could technically donate,
Yeah.
but the cost of a swimming pool would be so far in excess of that it.
You think so?
Yeah, it wouldn't be feasible.
yeah, but it'd be used 24/7 in this community. I mean, people could go public,
Yeah,
on
but again,
weekends.
there's cost to that as well.
Yeah,
You've
that's-
got to take
yeah.
a look into that. There's a lot of liability
Maintenance, yeah.
having, a pool near
Yeah.
our kids. So there's a lot of maintenance and upkeep as well.
Yeah.
And I honestly.
After a while,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why a lot of schools don't have them.
I see.
And so, our plan would not be to have a swimming pool or a hockey rink or anything like
All
that.
right.
It would be a traditional middle school. It would have a nice gymnasium space, again, not only for use during the day, but for the community after hours.
Right.
Oftentimes, it would have like meeting room space. We'd love to have telemedia be part of the new design, so that's in the works.
You would want telemedia to
We
be
would love
in there?
telemedia,
Oh.
and actually maybe even more fully utilize some of the programming during the school day and after hours
Right, good
with our
point.
students. So that's in the discussion phases too.
Let me ask you this question. A lot of schools are now opting for drones because, you have a motherboard and a drone, and you
Sure.
program a drone, et cetera. You could use it off a cell phone.
Yep.
Is there any thoughts in the future to have a drone club or a drone class? Because other high schools are thinking about it or doing that.
We don't have a class at the high school right now.
No,
As things evolve, like even with technologies,
Right.
as new things come into place,
Right.
the school tries to stay on top of like trends and where things are going.
Right.
Not to say it couldn't happen in the future. Oftentimes things do start as, say, a club. So if you have kids that are interested in a particular concept or area, they find a staff member who has the same interest, and they might form a club. And then if the club really takes off, sometimes, courses are developed based on that. So it certainly could happen in the future. I know, like some of our sports teams, and even I know like telemedia have drones that.
Yeah, recently, yeah.
Video
yeah.
footage of our different events. So we certainly use them. We just don't have any coursework right now at the high school. But we actually do have some tech ed and tech engineering courses, some robotics courses. So that may someday be an offshoot of some of that work.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know that drones, in basic training now, they're teaching the soldiers operation.
In the services?
Drones basic, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they use quite a bit in
if somebody
services.
went from a Voc school or a regular high school, they would be ahead of the class, more or less, with experience in regards to flying them or program them, whatever they do with them, and so forth.
Well, we do
I mean,
at the high school, like we do have coding classes and things like that. So there is maybe a lot of the behind the scenes stuff happening. And again, in the future, there's not to say that we wouldn't have one.
Speaking of the high school, how's the college credits going? I mean, that was implemented 4 or 5 years now, and
Yeah, a little before COVID, actually. We're
Yeah.
coming up on 6 or 7
Yeah.
years. And no, the dual enrollment programming has really expanded greatly at the high school. We have a lot of our classes that students can be right at Chelmsford High School, taught by Chelmsford High School staff, but they're not only earning Chelmsford High School credit toward the high school diploma, but they're earning credit through Middlesex Community College associate's degree work that they can take to Middlesex or UMass Lowell or any of the number of colleges that will accept those credits. So it gives the kids really a foot up before they leave the high school to get some college coursework
that's helpful.
behind.
I think it's really helpful.
Economical, because it's a
Yeah.
lot cheaper to take the courses, here
point.
before you get into school. It also allows some students may not necessarily want to have everything transfer into college with them, and there are certain colleges that might want you in a particular program. But some of these courses may help you get some of the prerequisite work done, so you might be able to take an extra elective or take a deeper course when you get to college, because you would have had one of the foundational courses already covered at the high school level. So it opens up a lot of avenues for the students. Again, it's economical. We have, I can't even tell you off the top of my head how many classes now or sections that we're running, but it's significantly expanded. And I think really within another couple of years, kids will be at the point where they can graduate from Chelmsford High School with a high school diploma and have earned their associate's degree.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
we're moving down that trajectory.
So do we know the percentage of kids that go into college once they graduate from Chelmsford High School?
I don't have it off the top of my head. I will say it's 90%,
Yeah.
or above. I just
Yeah.
don't have the exact number. Most kids do attend 2 or 4 year college.
Okay.
We certainly have some students that join the service or
Yeah.
might go into a tech field, but the majority of our students are still attending either a 2 or 4 year college.
Okay. Time flies when we're talking.
Is it moving already?
Yeah, it's moving along. MCAS, right? We eliminated for graduation, 10th grade used to take an MCAS test, and if you passed or didn't pass, you got a diploma. If you passed, and a certificate. If you didn't pass, how was that set up?
Kinda.
Okay,
All
I'm
right, so-
sorry.
No.
Well, that's why I have you here.
No,
You know,
totally
I mean,
fine.
yeah.
So there was all of our students from grades 3 to 10 have historically and still do take the MCAS exam.
Okay.
The MCAS exam in sophomores in 10th grade at the high school used to be required to be passed to earn a competency determination, or a CD. And then if you earned that, you were able to get your high school diploma. So there was a ballot referendum 2 years ago that basically
2024,
yeah,
right.
wanted to remove the MCAS as a competency determination,
Right.
because there was a move to have it not be like one test that the students had to pass to then earn their high school diploma. So that passed. So the MCAS basically can't be used as the only factor now to have a child earn a high school diploma, but the students still have to take the MCAS exam.
In the 10th grade?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
in all of our grades, because
Okay.
that's kind of tied to a federal mandate, where in order to get federal funding, you have to have standardized testing being implemented. So there was a misnomer. Some people thought the MCAS was going to go away and kids didn't have to
Yeah,
take it anymore. They still have to take it. It just doesn't count towards the competency determination
I
to
see.
get a high school diploma. So after the referendum passed and it was removed as a high school requirement, or requirement towards a certificate of graduation, there was a group that got together to say, all right, if we're not going to have this earn the CD to get the high school diploma, what else is going to take its place? So actually just earlier this week, the governor had announced there were several recommendations that are now going to be vetted for the next number of months to kind of figure out what could take the place of the MCAS to earn the competency determination to earn a high school diploma. So that's going to be the talk now for the next 6 months to a year. And there's some discussion about having it be like end of course assessments. So you would take a particular program of studies at the high school, and then you would still have like a statewide test at the end of, say, Algebra 1 or Algebra 2, or they'll have to figure out what
I
those
see.
classes are, and you would then have to pass that as a way to prove your competency to get a high school diploma.
I see.
They've talked about having portfolio type work where a student could show and demonstrate their competency to get a high school diploma. There's some discussion about tying in financial literacy classes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we actually have some of that already. So a lot of
we
these
do.
things we already have in place at the high school.
I see.
But I think what's going to happen now is the discussion is going to shift to across the state, what should be that kind of minimum to say that a student has attained the level that we want them to attain to earn a diploma in Massachusetts. And that's to really kind of provide that it be a standard between communities.
I see.
So that a diploma issued from Chelmsford or Andover or Billerica or Tingsboro has children achieving a particular level to say that they actually should receive that diploma. So that diploma is worth something
Yeah.
when you're going, say, in other communities or outside
so
of Massachusetts.
Lowell, for example, would be on par with Chelmsford in regards to the standards.
So this, yes, so
Yeah.
a curriculum of studies
State
that's very, rigorous.
Right.
It would then kind of standardize, and children would have to achieve a score on a particular test to prove their competency to then earn a diploma.
Right.
And that would kind of be a bar to say across the state, if you've earned this, it's actually worth this because you've attained what you need to.
Another thing I want to bring up real quick, I mean, my time is flying by. Cell phones in the classroom. I know there's a law in Massachusetts. I don't know whether it's been passed or not.
It hasn't been passed yet, so it's still in the legislature.
What do we do here in Chelmsford? Do we have anything?
Yes, we have policies right now. We're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with this law because
Okay.
there are a number of different things that could come of it.
Okay.
But basically, we have phones off and out, out of the classroom when instruction is taking place. So we don't typically have this issue with the elementary school because of the age of the kids. But when you get to middle and high school, kids obviously have cell phones. But we want them turned off and we want them in their locker or, in their bag. We don't want them out in class. And for the most part, the kids are pretty good with that.
Oh, good.
But we're waiting to see what's going to happen with the law in the state because we may need to enact something different. But we didn't want to get ahead of something and then have to change it up on
I see.
everyone.
Good point.
So we're just waiting to see what's going to come.
Good point. Cursive writing. Do we still have it? I mean, there's an argument we should have it or we shouldn't have it. What do we do in the lower grades?
Sure. So in the lower grades, like in third and fourth grade,
Right.
we do have some cursive instruction.
Okay.
Most students, quite honestly, don't utilize cursive as much. They print or they type if they're using a computer.
Yeah.
But we do want them to have some fundamentals of
To
cursive.
learn how
So
to
third and fourth
signature?
grade, yeah, a signature would be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So it's not just a little chicken scratch.
Yeah.
But third and fourth grade, we do still have a little focus on cursive writing so that students can understand letter identification.
And how to read
actually
how to read cursive.
utilize it.
If they do research, I mean, letters, etc. How about bus fees, parking fees? Remember they used to have
So
a
we've
parking fee?
Yeah, we had a parking fee at the high school for quite some time. It's been a good 5 or 6 years since we've been able to eliminate that. So there is no parking fee at the high school anymore. The only fees we really have in the district are our athletic program. So if you
What
play
is
a
that?
sport, it's a couple $100
Okay.
for a season, but there are family caps and things like
Right,
that as well.
understandable.
We have busing fees still for students who live inside a circle. So as a district, we're required to transport students, I believe it's 2 miles, if you live 2 miles from the school, for free to school. But we have obviously extra capacity on the buses. So if you live within 2 miles, you can pay a fee to have your child ride the bus.
How much is the fee?
That's
Do we know?
about $200 for
Oh.
the year.
Oh, that's
So
not
it's-
bad.
It's a dollar a day.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
to basically ride the bus 2 ways. So,
I mean, you're spending gas and
yeah,
time and
yeah, I
insuring
think
the
it's
bus.
certainly a convenience
Yeah.
thing. So a lot of parents.
Speaking
will
of
be
buses in
selling
regards
that.
to, do we have a contract with a bus firm, and how long is that contract usually?
Sure, so we have a couple of different contracts. We have a contract for big buses, like the big yellow
Right,
school buses.
right.
And we typically bid those in 5-year increments. So
I
we
see.
award a 3-year contract with 2 option years, 4 and 5. And then we also have special education vehicles like smaller buses and 7D vans. We also have that contract in place. Typically, that's a 3-year contract. We don't own any of the vehicles. We're
Buses do
contract-
not idle because there's a law in Massachusetts that you can't idle for 5 minutes. So I think you should have signs outside the schools, no idling, because I've seen people go in and pick up their children and they have the car idling outside, and they don't realize the fumes go into the HVAC system.
Into the air
and,
system,
and
yeah.
so that
something to
should be
look at.
talked about,
Sure.
I just want to bring that up. I saw that the other day.
Yeah, the buses are actually pretty good. They know the rules,
Yeah.
the idling and things. So the buses, I think, do a pretty good job with that.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I did see somebody because it was a cold day and they had the car running outside the school, and they were more than 5 minutes inside the school. I don't know whether they were picking up their child to go to,